If you truly wish to discover where the gates to wealth are hidden, you must first understand one undeniable truth. Opportunity never shouts, it whispers. It passes quietly, disguised in work, in problems, in the very struggles most people are running from. The reason the majority live their entire lives without finding riches is not because opportunity isn't there. It's because they were looking for it in the wrong place, expecting it to look glamorous, easy, and perfectly packaged. But that's not how life rewards the few who rise above the many. We are living in a time unlike any other in history. The pace of change is faster, the reach of ideas is broader, and the power of one individual, if properly directed, can shake industries. But here's the secret the average person doesn't know. Opportunity hides in plain sight, waiting for the man or woman who can see beyond what is and imagine what could be. Think about the world around you right now. For every challenge, there is a hidden fortune. Every shortage creates a demand. Every complaint hides a potential business. The people who grow rich are those who train themselves to stop complaining and start creating solutions. While others cry about problems, they are building empires in silence. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need a perfect education or a famous last name. What you do need is the ability to look at the same world everyone else sees and notice what everyone else is ignoring. This is the seed of wealth. This is where the climb begins. Look at the great fortunes of history. They were rarely made by those who followed the crowd. Henry Ford didn't ask people what they wanted if he had. They would have said faster horses. He gave them cars. Steve Jobs didn't ask for permission to reinvent how the world communicates. He just did it. These men had the courage to see what was missing and the will to build it. But before you say, well, I'm no Ford or Jobs, understand this, they weren't born legends. They started as ordinary people who developed an extraordinary skill, the ability to think independently and to act with conviction when the opportunity revealed itself. And this is a skill you can learn. You may think the richest opportunities are all gone, that the internet, technology, and global markets have already been conquered. That belief is the first chain you must break. Every new technology creates more opportunities than it destroys. The key is not to chase the obvious, but to anticipate the inevitable. Ask yourself, what will people need next year? What will they pay for tomorrow that they don't even know they want today? The opportunities to accumulate wealth exist in every city, every neighborhood, every profession. But they are invisible to those who wait to be told what to do. The richest man in the room is often the one who took initiative when everyone else stood still. That could be you if you train yourself to see the invisible. Begin with your own surroundings. What do people complain about most? What frustrates them? What wastes their time or costs them money? That is where opportunity hides. The man who solves a problem for 1,000 people makes a comfortable living. The man who solves a problem for millions changes his family's destiny forever. But opportunity alone is worthless without preparation. Too many people have missed their chance because they were not ready when the moment arrived. You must be sharpening your skills, building your network, and expanding your knowledge constantly, because opportunity does not wait for the unprepared. When the door opens, you must already be standing there. Let me give you the most important mindset shift. Stop looking for a job and start looking for a role to play in the marketplace. Jobs come and go, but your ability to create value will feed you for life. When you become the person who can bring money, solutions, and ideas to the table, you will never have to beg for work again. Work will come looking for you. And here's the final truth for this first step. Riches are not found in the easy path. They are found in the place where courage is required, where others hesitate, where the unknown scares the majority away. The road to wealth will often take you into uncomfortable territory, new industries, Untested ideas, unfamiliar faces. That is where you must go, because the crowd will not follow you there. And that is exactly why the treasure lies waiting. So if you truly want to find where the opportunities to accumulate riches are, look in the very places most people avoid. Look in the problem no one has solved. Look in the industry everyone thinks is too hard. Look where the work is heavy, because the reward will match it. And when you find that place, do not hesitate. Commit with everything you have. Because the greatest tragedy is not that people never see opportunity. It's that they see it and let it pass them by. If you have followed me this far, you now understand one vital truth. Wealth hides in the places most people avoid. But knowing where to look is only half the battle. The second half, the part that separates the dreamers from the doers, is learning how to prepare yourself so that when opportunity appears, you are the one who seizes it. Think of opportunity as a train. It will not stop for you just because you are standing on the tracks. It moves at full speed, and you have two choices. Be ready to jump aboard when it passes, or watch it disappear into the horizon. Most people see the train and freeze, because they spent their entire lives waiting instead of preparing. So how do you prepare? The first step is ruthless self-analysis. You must be honest, brutally honest about your current abilities, your weaknesses and your habits. The man who lies to himself about his capabilities will forever be unprepared. Every year, I set aside time to ask myself difficult questions. Have I grown more valuable in the marketplace this year? Do I have new skills that can solve bigger problems? Have I built relationships with people who can open doors? Am I physically and mentally stronger than I was 12 months ago? If the answer to any of these is no, then I know exactly where my work lies. Wealth is not just about chasing money. It is about becoming a person who attracts it. And you cannot attract what you are not ready to handle. Let me share a secret most never learn. The marketplace does not pay you for time. It pays you for value. If you want more income, you must increase the value you bring. And that value comes from a combination of skills, reputation, and the ability to solve high-stakes problems. That is why the richest people are often problem solvers first, and businessmen second. Consider this. If a company is losing $1 million a month and you can save them from collapse, how much do you think your service is worth? That is why I tell every man and woman, stop aiming to be affordable. Aim to be indispensable. The affordable can be replaced. The indispensable cannot. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They prepare in the wrong way. They focus only on technical skills, ignoring the most important skill of all, the ability to market themselves. You could be the most brilliant craftsman, the most gifted consultant, or the most talented creator. But if no one knows you exist, your talents are worthless to the marketplace. This is where personal service marketing becomes the bridge between preparation and wealth. You are not just a person, you are a brand. Every interaction, every promise you keep, every problem you solve, it all becomes part of your personal reputation. And reputation is the currency that opens doors money cannot. Think about it. People pay for trust long before they pay for talent. A stranger may doubt your skill, but if they trust you, they will give you a chance. And that chance, once earned, must be over-delivered on because the marketplace remembers both excellence and failure. Let me give you a challenge, one that could change your financial destiny for the next 12 months. Commit to becoming known in your field for one thing, your ability to solve a specific, valuable problem better than anyone else. Specialization is a magnet for opportunity. The world rewards experts, not generalists. Remember, too, that opportunity does not always come in the form of money right away. Sometimes the first door you open leads to a connection, which leads to a project, which leads to a fortune. Do not be the fool who slams a door because there's no gold in sight. Often the gold is 3 doors later. And here's another truth. The more prepared you are, the less you will need luck. People call it luck when a man is ready for an opportunity that others were too blind to see. What they call luck is really preparation meeting the right moment. So here's the question you must answer before we move forward. Are you just hoping wealth will find you? Or are you becoming the kind of person wealth cannot ignore? The answer will determine whether the next opportunity you see becomes the turning point of your life, or just another missed train. Because here's the final warning for this step. Opportunities are perishable. They have an expiration date, and once they pass, they rarely return in the same form. When the moment arrives, hesitation is your enemy and bold. Decisive action is your ally. The man who waits for perfect timing will wait forever. If you are willing to prepare yourself relentlessly, market your value like a master, and act when the moment comes, then wealth will stop being something you chase and start being something that chases you. There comes a moment in every year when a man of vision must pause, turn inward, and ask himself with unflinching honesty, am I truly earning the place I occupy? Am I serving in a manner that makes my presence indispensable? The tragedy of the average man is not that he fails, it is that he rarely stops to measure himself against the standard of excellence he once dreamed of. Those who rise above mediocrity understand that without an annual reckoning, without a personal audit of one's skills, service, and spirit, progress is an accident at best and a decline at worst. Let us then take the scalpel of truth and examine the living tissue of our daily service. For only by cutting away what is weak can the strong survive. The first truth you must confront is the worth of your service, not in the currency your employer or client pays you, but in the lasting value you create. Many men believe they are underpaid, but upon examination, they discover they are simply overestimating the impact of their work. The market does not pay for effort, it pays for results. It rewards creativity, precision, speed, and the rare capacity to solve problems others avoid. To command a higher price for your personal services, you must first ensure that your services are worth more than the next man's. This is not arrogance. It is the reality of a competitive world. Once you see the gap between your present worth and your desired worth, you have the blueprint for growth. If your work is mechanical, find ways to make it intellectual. If it is intellectual, make it strategic. If it is already strategic, make it visionary. Every step upward in value moves you further from the crowd and closer to the rare air where only the most indispensable operate. The man who can do what few can do, in a way few can match, will never have to plead for opportunity. It will plead for him. But this transformation requires more than technical skill. It demands a selling spirit, not the kind that Hawks wears on the street, but the deep, quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are the answer to someone's pressing need. When you walk into a room with the knowledge that your presence is a solution, you radiate a magnetism no resume can match. The irony is that most people wait for the world to recognize them before they start acting as though they matter. The wise man acts as though he matters first, and the world inevitably agrees. Now consider the law of contrast. If you wish your services to shine, place them in an environment where mediocrity is the norm. But do not be content merely to outshine those around you. Outshine the best you can find. Compete not with your neighbor, but with your own highest potential. The habit of self-comparison is the fuel of champions. Every year, measure yourself not against what you have done, but against what you could have done if you had been bold enough, focused enough, disciplined enough. This single mental practice will prevent you from growing stale in a comfortable position while life passes you by. You must also master the art of marketing your value without ever appearing to sell it. This is the secret of personal service marketing. You do not shout your worth. You demonstrate it. You do not beg for recognition. You create it through results that speak louder than any self-praise could. Every letter you write, every meeting you attend, every task you complete should be a silent advertisement for your competence. Leave no interaction without leaving behind a residue of respect and trust. A man who wishes to climb must become known for more than his job description. He must become a source of ideas, a bringer of solutions, a steady voice when others panic. Reputation is the compound interest of consistent service. Guard it fiercely. One careless act, one lapse in integrity, one broken promise can undo years of careful accumulation. The market forgives skill gaps if you are trusted. It rarely forgives breaches of character. Here is a question to ask yourself every quarter, not just every year. If I were the buyer of my own services, knowing all that I know about myself, would I hire me again at the same price or higher? If the answer is anything less than a confident yes, you have work to do. Perhaps you need more training. Perhaps you need to shed habits that waste time. Perhaps you must seek out harder challenges to prove your capacity. The point is not to punish yourself, but to stay in motion toward the highest possible version of you. And while you labor to increase your value, remember that opportunities rarely knock twice in the same form. The door you ignored this year may be gone the next. The person you failed to impress today may be the decision maker tomorrow. This is why every encounter is sacred. Treat the smallest request as though it could lead to the greatest reward, because often it does. Success hides in the corners where lazy men do not look. Do not overlook the role of enthusiasm in your personal service marketing. Skills get you in the door. Spirit keeps you invited back. An alert, optimistic, and energetic attitude multiplies the perceived value of your abilities. No one pays willingly for a gloomy face, no matter how competent. Enthusiasm is not a constant smile. It is the deep, authentic conviction that what you are doing matters, and that you are privileged to do it. This attitude cannot be faked for long. It must be cultivated through gratitude and purpose. Finally, understand that self-analysis without action is self-deception. Many people make long lists of what they should improve, and then return to the very habits that hold them down. Resolve that every finding in your annual self-analysis will be matched by a concrete plan of action. No matter how uncomfortable, improvement is rarely painless, but the pain of disciplined growth is far lighter than the agony of regret. If you make this practice your own, you will never again wonder whether you are moving forward. You will know your worth will increase, your reputation will spread, and the law of cause and effect will guarantee that your rewards follow your service as surely as night follows day. The marketplace is impartial. It pays exactly what you are worth in the eyes of those who buy your services. Make yourself priceless, and you will never be without buyers. If you truly wish to rise above the average, you must understand this one law. The marketplace pays only for one thing: results. And results are never an accident. They are a reflection of preparation, mastery, and relentless execution. You are not paid for the time you spend. You are paid for the value you deliver within that time. This is where most fail. They confuse activity with achievement. A man can be busy all day and yet accomplish nothing of value. A wise man focuses not on the clock, but on the outcome. Your annual self-analysis must begin here. What tangible, measurable results did you create in the past year that could not have existed without you? This is not about the tasks you completed, but the problems you solved, the opportunities you created, and the value you added to the lives of others. The marketplace remembers only what you produce, not what you intended to do. Most people fail to grow because they measure themselves by their intentions, while the world measures them by their results. Ask yourself, Have you increased your skill to the point where you can produce double the value you did last year? If not, then you are not evolving fast enough for a world that rewards only those who advance. You must also examine the spirit in which you render service. Skills without a positive mental attitude are like a powerful engine without fuel. They cannot move you forward. If your service is delivered with indifference or bitterness, no amount of technical mastery will save you. Every great leader I have studied had one thing in common. They infused their work with enthusiasm, with a genuine desire to serve. Enthusiasm is magnetic. It attracts opportunities, allies, and wealth in ways calculation never can. But enthusiasm alone is not enough. You must have precision. The man who works with enthusiasm, but without accuracy, is like an archer who fires arrows into the air without aiming. Precision comes from discipline, and discipline comes from a definite chief aim. This aim must be so clear in your mind that every task you perform is either moving you toward it or away from it. There is no middle ground. Next, evaluate your adaptability. The man who resists change is like a sailor who refuses to adjust his sails to the wind. He may have a fine ship, but he will be carried wherever the current decides. In the past year, how quickly did you adapt to unexpected changes? Did you resist, complain, and delay? Or did you adjust, learn, and move forward faster than your competitors? The speed with which you adapt will increasingly determine the size of your rewards. Consider also the quality of your network. In the marketplace, no one rises alone. Your income and influence are directly connected to the quality of the people you associate with. If the past year found you surrounded by negative, small-minded individuals, your results likely suffered. A single toxic relationship can pull you backward faster than 10 positive influences can push you forward. Ask yourself, have I consciously built relationships with people who inspire me, challenge me, and expand my vision? Or have I drifted into relationships of convenience, comfort, and low expectation? Equally important is your reputation. In the marketing of personal services, reputation is your invisible currency. You cannot buy it. You can only earn it through consistent performance and integrity. Every job you take, every promise you make, every deadline you meet or miss is a deposit or withdrawal from your reputation account. At the end of this year, is your balance higher than it was at the start? Or have you allowed careless actions or broken promises to deplete it? Then there is your ability to sell, not just products or services, but ideas, solutions, and most importantly, yourself. Every day, consciously or not, you are selling the world on the idea of you, your competence, your reliability, your uniqueness. In the past year, have you improved your ability to communicate your value with clarity and confidence? Or do you still hide behind modesty, hoping your work will speak for itself? Remember, the marketplace is noisy. If you do not speak for yourself, someone else will speak over you. And finally, your capacity for persistence. The most valuable people in any field are not always the most talented, but they are almost always the most persistent. The past year has tested you. Every year does. The question is not whether you faced obstacles, but whether you overcame them without losing momentum. Did you push through when others quit? Did you find solutions when others found excuses? The habit of persistence compounds over time. Each victory builds the confidence and resilience to face the next challenge. When you combine all these measurable results, positive spirit, precision, adaptability, strong networks, solid reputation, persuasive communication, and persistence, you become unstoppable in the marketplace. You transform from a mere participant into a player of the highest league. This transformation does not happen by chance. It is the direct result of deliberate, disciplined self-analysis and the application of its lessons. The truth is, most people will never do this work. They will drift from year to year, repeating the same mistakes, hoping for better results without changing their methods. But you, if you are hearing this and truly absorbing it, have the rare opportunity to choose differently. You can decide today to become a man or woman who refuses to be average. You can commit to making the next year a masterpiece of growth, service, and reward. Do not wait for the perfect time to start. The perfect time is the moment you decide to stop tolerating mediocrity. The decision is yours, and the moment is now. Remember this: the man who learns to market himself effectively never fears the loss of a job, for he carries his opportunity in his own mind and in the skills of his own hands. No economy can take that away from him. So go forth into the coming year with courage, clarity, and the absolute conviction that your service is worthy of the highest rewards. The world does not give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand through your value, your persistence, and your belief in your own capacity. Now, I leave you with this challenge. In the next 12 months, live in such a way that you will look back not with regret, but with pride. Make this the year that changes everything. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The seeds you plant today will determine the harvest you reap tomorrow. Plant wisely, plant boldly, and plant now, because your future self is waiting.